What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Savvy, and welcome back to the Savvy Show. And today we got a cool SCP because this is a SCP that I found out about while I was reacting to another SCP. So if you guys remember, a few days back I reacted to Shy Guy. That one was a pretty dope SCP, and then within that SCP we got to see him go against this one right here, which is SCP-682, the Indestructible creature. So it looked pretty dope. After we got like a quick synopsis about, his abilities, he can regenerate and he's pretty much immortal. So after I heard that, I'm like, yo, I gotta read this on, I gotta check out this SCP because it looks pretty dope. So yo, today we're gonna be diving deep into this SCP. So if you guys are excited about this, remember, smash that like button below. Let's get it done. Hey, if you enjoy my content, you guys enjoy these SCP videos, I'm gonna be making them every single day. So might as well sub as well too. Join the family. We're not too big right now, so get in while you can, and it's going to be a great time. I'd love to have you here, and we're going to have a blast, especially if you love SCP videos. And remember, link to the original video is in the description below. Feel free to check it out if you would like. But with that all out the way, it's time to get this show started. Alrighty, SCP-682, Indestructible creature. Let's get it.
SCP-682 begins thrashing violently, emitting several roaring sounds and issuing profanity directed at testing staff. Finally, 682 breaks containment, attack against several agents, staff, and
He didn't see that shit coming.
resulting in 11 deaths and 86 injuries. Hello, everybody.
Damn.
I'm TheRubber. Today, we bring you SCP Foundation Class Object Kita, SCP-682.
Kita.
SCP-682 is one of the most popular in SCP Foundation. 682 is a large, vaguely reptile-like creature of unknown origin.
Is it just me? Or does it look like we're seeing as like his ribs and his insides right here? Or is that just part of his design? Maybe we might find out at the end of this SCP, explanation video, but it really looks like he got eaten up on the side and we can see his ribs right now. What the hell? Alright, let's keep it going.
Famous for traits that are almost impossible to be destroyed. It appears to be extremely intelligent and was observed to engage in complex communication with other SCP. 682 appears to have a hatred of all life, which has been expressed in several interviews during containment.
God damn.
682 has always been observed to have extremely high strength, speed, and reflexes, though exact levels vary with its form. Its physical body grows and changes very quickly, growing or decreasing in size as it consumes or sheds material, and gains energy from anything it ingests.
Y'all are really gonna feed him McDonald's? Man, this is a silent roast for that one, man. Let's just keep it going.
Organic or inorganic. 682's regenerative capabilities and resilience are staggering, and it has been seen moving and speaking with
just
its
ahead?
body 87% destroyed or rotted. When being asked why it kills those innocent farmers, it refused to answer at first, but after forced to answer by a doctor, 682 assault one of the personnel, and answer they were disgusting. Due to the highly aggressive, adaptive, and intelligent nature of 682, termination testing has been ordered by Foundation. The only problem is the number of termination testing have been conducted close to 100, yet none of them have been success.
Damn.
Among the many execution records, the most classic of which is the attempt to use SCP-409 on 682. 409 is a very dangerous quartz crystal. Any objects coming in contact with 409 will begin to crystallize after 3 hours. After complete crystallization, the object will bursting into thousands of fragments with great force. Upon exposure, 682's crystallization begins. It shows signs of extreme pain and begins having seizures, but the crystallization stops at 62% conversion with unknown reason.
What?
Its crystallized area explodes, causing massive physical trauma to 682.
It stops out of nowhere? Why did it just stop consuming the indestructible creature? Hold up, what?
Stops at 62% conversion with unknown reason. Its crystallized area explodes, causing massive physical trauma to 682. 1 hour later, 682 recovers from exposure, despite the loss of limbs.
Yeah, I mean, he literally only had a head, like the last scene. So like, why did it just explode though? And did it mean the crystal exploded itself, like the crystal's dead now, or the area that the crystal got on this SCP exploded by itself? Damn. And I'm surprised he's super smart too. That's something I didn't assume.
Stating that it will attempt to kill and consume all staff involved in this event.
God damn.
Due to the failure of SCP-409, major concerns raised about possible developed immunities and possible adaptations. All future termination tests must first be carried out on tissue samples taken from 682. In another termination testing, 682 quickly presses against the wall farthest from SCP-173, staring at it the entire time.
Wow, okay, so this is interesting. This SCP has been going against other SCPs so the Foundation could try to kill it. So that makes sense that it was in Shy Guy's SCP, because they're probably like saying, hey, maybe this is a way that Shy Guy could kill this SCP, but it was like at a stalemate. Damn, this is a strong SCP then.
SCP-173 cannot move while within a direct line of sight. Then once the line of sight is broken, it will move at high speed and attack by snapping the neck of the
Yo, this reminds me of, I'm sorry to I keep on pausing it, but this SCP, if you're not looking at it, it goes hella fast. That reminds me of, you guys are Doctor Who fans, the Dark Angels episode, where those angel statues, if you look at it, it will stay still, but if you look away, it moves super fast and it can kill you. If you guys watch Doctor Who, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. I bet they got the SCP from that show, bro. Let me know in the comment section below if you know what I'm talking about, man. Because that shit just, right when I saw that, I'm like, yo, that's from Doctor Who.
682 continues to stare at 173 without pause for 6 hours. Realize this situation, agents equipped with large caliber sniper rifles dispatch and shoot out the eyes of 682. After resuming observation, 682 is shown to be on the floor with several injuries around its head, neck, and legs. It rapidly regenerates from damage and moves to a different wall, developing several sets of eyes on various parts of its body.
So this could actually like generate extra organs that it didn't previously have. Like, look at all those eyes it has. Like, what the heck? I thought it could just regenerate like certain, limbs or like an eyeball if you lose it. But now it has it all over his body. Like, this is an interesting one. I wish we get a backstory on like how this came to be. Like, yo.
Many covered by thick, clear caps of armored carapace. 682 maintains observation of 173 for an additional 12 hours, despite additional efforts of agents and Foundation staff. At the end, Foundation staff have no other way but to end this testing.
Damn.
Termination testing with SCP-162 has once again proved the exceptional vitality and adaptability of 682.
That's crazy.
SCP-162 will immediately result in several hooks becoming embedded in the subject's skin. Subject will bleed profusely, resulting in death after a prolonged period of time. 682 exposed to 162. It begins thrashing violently, emitting several roaring sounds and issuing profanity directed at testing staff. After 4 minutes of continued exposure, 682 lunges away from SCP-162, severing its lower jaw and left hind limb, and causing serious tissue damage to many areas of its body. 682 breaks containment, attack against several
with only one jaw? Oh my god. It's crazy.
Agents, staff, and researchers, resulting in 11 deaths and 86 injuries. So we know at this time, no means available to SCP teams are capable of destroying SCP-682, only able to cause massive physical damage. 682 should be contained within chamber filled with hydrochloric acid until it is submerged and incapacitated. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Have you ever heard or...
I definitely did. That was a good one. Wow. So instead of just getting like, usual backgrounds of an SCP, it was like a hype video of like how strong this SCP is. We didn't get like any really cool like, indications about like how the SCP Foundation was able to capture this SCP. Because from my logic, from it just being so dangerous, killing all these SCP agents, how were we even able to bring it to the Foundation? That's what I wanted to actually see most in this whole video, but we didn't get that. However, we got to see other SCPs that I haven't seen yet, and they can do anything to our guy. Like, yo, so this is cool. This is really dope. And man, I hope we get more of this SCP within other SCP videos. It will just be really cool to see like if we get another strong SCP like Shy Guy, we could like bring this one in, and that's a whole nother story in itself because they've been trying to kill this SCP for so long. So yo, I really enjoyed this SCP more than I thought I would. So man, if you guys enjoyed the reaction, please let me know by smashing that like button, and also remember, sub to the channel if you're not already part of the family. I'm going to be making content daily on this channel, so you'll never be bored. So it'll be the best place to get that SCP dose of heat. So with that all out the way, I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and that concludes today's episode on The Savvy Show. I'll catch you guys on the next one. With